Okay, so just to get us started, we're going to start in the front end of our mat, but then actually we're going to eventually walk our way to the other end of our mat. But for the spacing so that we can walk backwards, start at the front end of your mat, step your feet fairly wide, and then we're going to start that little rock the baby sway. So as if you were holding a baby and just kind of doing that nice gentle sway side to side. But instead of holding the baby, place your hands right where your front pockets would be. And so as you sway side to side, just kind of tune in and feel that gentle bit of movement that goes on underneath your hands. And then just for a moment, play around with bringing your weight slightly forward. So maybe you're bringing your weight into the balls of your feet and your toes, which means you might have a little bit of a forward posture with your head and your heart. But just to, normally I wouldn't say to stand like that for long periods of time, but just so that you can kind of tune in. So as you place your hands in your front pockets and you bring that slightly forward leaning posture, how does that feel? And now can you bring it back so your weight's slightly back in your heels with a more upright posture, so head and heart and hips in line, and notice how that feels. And then see if you can find kind of that middle ground. So weight is evenly distributed between the balls of the feet and the heels. Keep the hands in your pockets. Take one more little sway side to side, and then come to a center of place or a stillness, and then place your hands just right on your heart. Close your eyes down or soften your gaze. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Set an intention here to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Keeping your hands on your heart with that intention set, inhale, gently lift your chin upward towards the sky. Exhale and tuck your chin down towards your chest. See if you can keep your shoulders soft and down. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Bring your head to a neutral position, but keep those hands stacked on your heart. And then with a little bit of a gentle pressure, draw a couple of circles in one direction. So we're moving the skin and moving connective tissue best we can. And then take those circles and draw them the other way. Awesome. And then releasing your stacked hands with the light piano fingers, and we're just going to take it into that light tap up and down. So think up towards the collarbones, down towards the sternum, just gently tapping up and down. And then if it feels good to do so here, just close your eyes down for a moment and tune in and listen. Notice that gentle thumping. Notice that vibration in the breath. Take one more tap up and down, and then we're going to take those light piano fingers and just lightly tap right in that space behind the ears. So that little drawing into space right behind the ears, we're just gently tapping in. Take one or two more taps and then draw the fingers down the side of the neck, just lightly touching. Draw down a couple of times. One or two more draws down. And then we're going to take it into the arm. So brush down the outside of the arm and up the in with a light pressure on. So you want to feel a little bit of contact with the skin. And then almost as if you're trying to move the surface of the skin just slightly. Take one more up and down, and then take it right over to the other side. So up the outside of the arm, down the in with a light pressure on. Nice. One more up and down, and then come back to that rock the baby sway. So hands back on the hips. Notice that little bit of gentle movement underneath your hands. Awesome. Take one more little sway side to side, come back to center, relax your hands down at your sides. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down, bend your knees, peel your back away from imaginary wall, roll down towards the ground, keep a super, super generous bend in the knees. And then the minute your fingers touch the ground, right away, pull your way back up. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. And now we're going to start to walk backwards. So keeping your gaze forward if you can, nice and slow and steady here. Walk yourself back to the back end of your mat. You're going to feel the back end of your mat. And once your heels find that back edge, walk yourself forward, slow and controlled, but try to keep your gaze forward. You know where you're going. So try to keep your gaze lifted. And once you hit the front end of your mat, walk yourself backwards again. And then this time, as we come to the back end of the mat, we're going to stay there, come back to that baby sway, a little rock side to side, and then see how it feels to start to step your feet wide or closer together. That'll be totally up to you, but we're going to come down into child's pose or extended child's pose. So whichever version you like better and feels more comfortable. I like big toes together, knees wide, but you choose the variation that feels good. Come down into your child's pose in any way that works good for you. Bring your knees down, release your toes, and then send your body forward so that you can find a little softness here. So we want to create a little bit of space for the belly, a little space for the chest, and then see if you can invite some softness in. So rather than a long, energetic reach through the fingertips, soften your hands, soften your elbows and your arms, soften your forehead. Take about 2 more cycles of breath here and see if you can just kind of tune in now and notice the movement of breath in your rib cage. And then we're going to stay in this low position, but walk our hands over and off the left side. So adding a little side bend element. So walk your hands over to the left, maybe stack your right hand on top of the left hand and then let your elbows get nice and heavy. Tune in, notice the right side of your body. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then we'll walk through center over and off to the other side. So over and off to the right, left hand stacks on top of the right hand if that feels good. Let your elbows get nice and heavy, soften your forehead down. Notice the left side of your body. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then when you're ready, walk back through center. We're going to lift off and then walk the knees wide. So if your knees were close together, walk them out wide and then swing the toes out to meet so we get that nice wide base of support. Left hand's going to walk underneath the nose. Right hand's going to reach up for a nice big twist. Look up towards that hand as you reach up towards the sky. Take a nice big breath. And then release that hand down underneath your nose, switch to the other side. Left hand's going to reach up. Eyes are going to lift and look to that hand. Nice. And then release that hand down. And now we're going to take it into a wide puppy pose. So hands nice and wide, walking forward, keeping your hips fairly in line with your knees, but knees are in a wide position. And then soften your chest and your forehead down. Take a nice deep breath in. Notice the back of your body. Nice slow breath out. Lift up through the abdominal muscles, walk your hands in a little bit closer, but we're still going to keep them wide to the outer edges of the mat. Curl your toes under, take a wide down dog, just one breath. Lift your butt up, press into your heels. And then when you're ready, pick up your heels, lower your knees. We're going to bring the knees in a little bit closer now, moving into a more tabletop position. So wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips, move into your cat-cow breath. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round. One more breath here. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round. Find a neutral spine, curl your toes under, and then we're just going to take that nice rock forward and back. So butt back to the heels, come forward, shoulders slightly past the wrist. And then just find a nice rhythm here that works good for you. Go at a pace that feels comfortable. Bringing a stretch to the toes, the bottoms of the feet, and a light stretch to the wrist, but then just kind of tune in, notice, how do your knees feel? How do your wrists feel? Beautiful. Now, the next time your butt pulls back to your heels, toes curled under, stay there, press into your palms, get a little extra stretch to the toes, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Now we're going to keep this position, but we're going to add a little element of strength. So you're going to imagine that you're pushing your toes into the ground. So with the toes curled under, push into your toes like you're trying to press your toes deep into the floor, and then release, relax. And then do it again. Push into your toes, all 10 toes if you can, and then release and relax. Do that one more time. Push into your toes, release, relax, come back up. Release your left toe, slide your right leg back. Toes still curled under, take a few rocks forward and back. Nice, one more rock forward and back. And then as your shoulders come in line with your wrist, lift that leg up, so nice and strong. And now we're gonna take 3 awkward airplanes, but just the leg. So we're gonna swing the leg out to the right, bring it back in with control. Tabletop stays as stable as it can. Swing the leg out to the right, just go as far as you can control. Bring it back in. Beautiful. Swing it out to the right. Bring it back in with control. Slide that leg in, switch to the other side. Left leg slides back, toes curled under, rock yourself forward and back. One more rock forward and back. And then the next time your shoulders come in line with the wrist, lift the left leg up and into that half awkward airplane. So just the left leg swings out, and then bring it back in with control. Swing the left leg out, bring it back with control. Table stays as stable as it can. Nicely done. Swing it out to the left, bring it back in with control. Float that knee down so you're back in your tabletop position. And now we're going to reverse our breath in our cat and cow. So exhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Inhale, round your back. Exhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Inhale, round your back. Take about 3 more cycles of breath. Just find your breath rhythm, but try to reverse that breath. Exhale as you release the belly down. Inhale as you round the back. Awesome. And then when you find neutral spine again, lift your right hand up, right into thread the needle. So we're going to lift that right hand, create a little space, thread the right hand through and underneath, right ear, right shoulder to the ground. Take one big breath here. Press gently into your left hand to unwind and come back into your tabletop position. And then take it right to the other side. Left hand's going to reach up nice and high, make some space, thread that hand through, left ear, left shoulder to the ground. Take 1 cycle of breath here. Nice. And then when you're ready, push into your right hand, lift yourself back up to your tabletop position, curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back to your heels, stay here for 1 breath. And then we're going to stay with butt back towards the heels, but now start to peel the knees up away from the floor, peel up into your downward facing dog. And then as you come up into downward facing dog, start to pedal your legs, bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Great. Take 1 or 2 more pedals of the legs. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a nice ragdoll fold at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, a super generous bend of the knees, and see if you can create a little space so the belly, the chest can rest on your thighs, and then soften your head down. And then if this all feels good, catch hold of your elbows and then just let gravity provide a little traction for you here. So head is nice and heavy, elbows nice and heavy. If you caught hold of the elbows and you think it'll feel good, invite a little gentle sway side to side, and then just kind of notice how that feels. Great. Take one more little sway side to side. And then as you come back to center, release your handhold of your elbows. If you're holding on, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, slow and steady, roll your way up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders down and back, and then we're going to step the right leg across the left. So we're going to crisscross the feet, line up the pinky toes. We're going to fold down halfway, come back up, and then we'll switch. So walk yourself down just so that you maybe are right above your knee or right below the knee, just whatever works good for you. But think about that halfway point. So if this is your edge, you might come up a little further. But if you can usually touch down to the floor, come to this halfway point, notice, take a nice big breath. Walk yourself up nice and slow. We're going to switch the cross in our legs, but we will come back to that position. Step your left leg across the right, line up your pinky toes best you can, and then walk yourself down to your halfway point. So whatever that means to you, but just tune in and notice. Awesome. Come back up nice and slow. Uncross your legs. Find your mountain pose. Anchor into your feet. Reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step both feet back to downward facing dog. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come into tabletop position. Slide the right leg back, toes curled under, press back into your heel. Take one breath. Bring it back in, slide your left leg back, toes curled under, press back into your heel. Bring it back in, curl both sets of toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to that soft ragdoll, so knees nice and generously bent, head nice and heavy, catch hold of your elbows, take one little gentle sway side to side. And then as you come back to center, release your elbows, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Now take your right leg, cross it over the left, find your crisscross first, walk yourself down nice and slow. This time come as far as feels right to you. If you can, soften your fingers down to the ground. And then once you're there, relax the back of your neck, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Awesome. Come up nice and slow and controlled. Walk your hands up, uncross your legs, switch to the other side. So left leg is going to cross over the right, line up your pinky toes best you can. Once you're there, walk yourself down to your edge. So come as far as feels right to you. Let your hands be heavy, soft through the back of your neck. Nice. And then come up nice and slow. Walk your hands up, uncross your legs, come back to your mountain pose, root into your feet. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Think about lifting the sitting bones up and then lift up through your trunk. Beautiful. Exhale, soften down. Step the right leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down. Release your back toes or tuck them. That's totally up to you, whatever feels more stable. Hand to the front knee, lift your chest. Pull the hip crease back. Reach your arms up. Take a nice big breath as you look upward. Nice. And now we're going to take it into a twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand to the hip. Rotate to the left, look over your back shoulder. So let your gaze be the deepest twist. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release, hands are going to find the ground. And we're going to take 3 half splits here. So pull the hips back, peel the front toes up, rock yourself forward, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Pull the hips back, peel the toes up, rock yourself forward, lift your chest, lift your gaze. One more here, pull the hips back. Rock yourself forward, lift your chest, lift your gaze, lift the back knee up, plant your palms, step back to plank. Pause in that plank position just for a moment. Broaden your shoulders. Think about pushing the floor away from you. Firm up your center, gaze down at the floor, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug elbows into ribs, lower with control. One low cobra here. Inhale, lift your heart up just a little bit. Exhale, lower down. Push your way all the way back to child's pose. So big toes together, knees together. Draw your butt back to your heels. Reach through your arms. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale up to tabletop position. Curl the toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to a nice soft fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, low lunge. Toes tucked or released, just whatever is more stable to you. Hand to the front knee, lift your chest. Pull the hip crease back. Inhale, reach your arms up, lift your gaze. Beautiful, and then take it into a twist. Left hand's gonna find the right knee, right hand to the hip, rotate to the right, but then look your head over your shoulder, look your eyes as far as they'll go. Beautiful. When you're ready, release. Hands are going to frame that front foot. 3 half splits here. Rock yourself back. Peel the front toes up. Rock yourself forward. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Rock yourself back. Rock yourself forward. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. One more time. Rock yourself back. Rock yourself forward. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Curl the back toes under. Lift your back knee up. Plant the palms. Step back to plank. Pause in that plank position. Broaden your shoulders, push the floor away from you. Gaze down between your thumbs, nice and strong here. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful, bring your knees down. Rotate the eyes of your elbows. Scrape the elbows along the ribs as you lower with control. One low cobra here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower down. Push your way back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees together. But back to the heels, a little energy through the fingers. So find that little bit of reach. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Inhale up to tabletop, curl the toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to a soft fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your side. Now we're gonna take the right leg across the left. So find that crisscross again, line up your pinky toes best you can, and then see if you can walk yourself down, finding the floor or finding your edge. So find the depth of a fold that works good for you, but now we're gonna take it a little bit side to side. So start by walking your fingers over towards the left side of your mat. Find a little bit of reach, take a nice big breath in. Release through center. If you need to readjust anything, take a second to do it, and then walk your fingers over towards the right side of your mat. Beautiful. Walk it back through center. Soften your knees just a little bit. Come up nice and slow and controlled. Uncross your legs. Pause for a moment. Set both feet on the ground. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So left leg is going to cross over the right. Walk yourself down to your edge. So come down as far into that fold as feels good to you. Awesome. And then we're going to walk the fingertips over towards the right side of the mat. Get a little bit of a reach. Beautiful. Come through center and then see how it feels. You need to readjust your feet, do it. But then if it feels good, walk over towards the left side of your mat. Nice. And then when you're ready, come back to center, soften your knees, come up nice and slow and controlled, uncross your legs, both feet nice and even on the ground. Pause for a moment here. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Cool. Now we're going to add a little bit of shake or vibration. So we're going to pick up the right leg and give it a good, generous shake. Get that muscle tissue, get that fatty tissue, get the skin kind of wiggling and jiggling on the bones. We want to get a good bit of vibration all the way down the leg. So think down into the calf, down into the ankle. You might even feel it in your toes. Nice. And then set that foot down, take it to the other side. Pick up your leg and just give it a good shake. If your balance is a little off this morning, just use a handhold so that you can find that good vibrational work without worrying about your balance. Take one more good shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, set it down, find your mountain pose. Anchor into your feet, reach up through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold, so we create a little strength in the back of the body. Beautiful. Exhale, soften down, bend your knees. Hands are going to find the ground. But now with that big giant bend in the knees, we want to think about reaching our sitting bones up towards the ceiling. So not straightening your legs, but lifting your butt upward to a point where you feel a little tug in the back of the thighs. Once you feel like you found it, pause there, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Take one more moment, finding that lift up through the sitting bones. And then when you're ready, bend your knees a lot, soften a little bit, plant your palms, step back to downward facing dog. Right leg is going to come up nice and high into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take one good breath. We're going to step that right foot up to the top right corner of our mat, to the outside of the pinky finger, so nice and wide. Bring the back knee down, release your back toes. Now we're going to find a little wobble side to side. So think about dropping your hips a little bit side to side, but check your back knee. Make sure that feels comfortable. If it feels better to keep the knee lifted to find that wobble, do what feels the best to your knees. Go for the knees protected first. And then once you found that good little bit of wobble, notice how it feels to take it into a kind of rock forward and back. So sort of that halfway point between the half splits, just to bring a little movement up into that knee and the top of the hip. Cool, one more little rock forward and back. And then as you come forward, hips are gonna sink down a little bit further, but now we're gonna take that right hand and reach it way out. So way off the right side of your mat, tent your fingers, so nice tall piano hands, and then lift your left hand up and think hips forward, side bend. So left hand reaches up. We create this nice big side bend, but we wanna drop the hips forward and then add that rocking sensation back in. So hips coming forward and back just a little bit. Beautiful. One more little rock forward and back. And then hands are going to come around and back to the inside of that foot. So that foot is still to the outer edge of the mat. And now think half split. So we're going to rock way back. Pull the toes up with you. Take a few big rocks forward and back. Awesome. Now the next time you come forward, keeping that back knee down, left hand's going to stay on the ground. Right hand's going to reach up for a twist. Notice how that feels. Now, can you keep that hand lifted, curl the back toes under, and pick the back knee up? One more breath. Release the right hand down, plant the palms, step that front foot back to plank. Beautiful. Take it right up to your downward facing dog. Take a few petals of the legs. When you're ready, left leg is going to come up nice and high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Take one big breath. And then step that left foot up to the top left corner of the mat, so to the outside of the pinky finger. Nice. And then bring that back knee down. Take a couple of little gentle rocks forward and back, but not that extreme. So we're not going for that hamstring stretch. We're just creating a little bit of space so we know that the knee and the hip feel good. Awesome. And then the next time you come forward, sink into it just a little bit and wobble the hips a little side to side. Nice. One more little wobble side to side, and then we're going to take that left hand, step it way out off the left side of the mat. So we're going to think hips forward, side bend. So as we lift that right hand up and reach up alongside the ear, we create a side bend, but now the hips come forward. And then once you've got all of that going on, come back to that little bit of forward and back momentum. Take one more little rock forward and back. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring those hands back to the inside. Pick the back knee up. Right hand stays down. Left hand reaches up. I said that wrong thing. Bring the knee down first. Left hand reaches up. Look to the sky. Find that little twist first. See how that feels. And then if it feels good, curl the back toes under. Pick the back knee up. Beautiful. When you're ready, bring that left hand down. Plant the palms. Step that front foot back to plank. Pause in your plank, nice and strong. Lovely. And then bring it up to downward facing dog and take a few petals of the legs. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Cross your right leg over the left. Walk down nice and slow and controlled. Find the floor or whatever reach works good for you. Take one good breath. Walk over to the right just a little bit with the fingers. Come through center, walk over to the left just a little bit. Come back to center, soften your knees just a little bit. Walk yourself up with control. Step that foot off, switch to the other side. Left leg crosses the right. Line up your pinky toes. Walk yourself down to a depth that works good for you. Take a nice big breath. Walk your fingers over to the left just a little bit. Walk through center and then over to the right just a little bit. Come back to center, soften your knees, come up nice and slow and controlled. Step that left foot off, find your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, whatever feels good to you here. Inhale to a half forward fold, think lift the sitting bones up. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or released, your choice. Inhale, lift your heart up. From here, take it into a twist. Right hand finds that left knee. Look over that left shoulder. Take a nice big breath. Release, return to center. One half splits here. Pull the hips back, peel the front toes up. Rock yourself forward, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee up. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows lower with control onto your belly. One cobra here, just as high as you like. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Push your way back to a child's pose, big toes together, knees together, butt back to the heels. Reach through the arms, take one big breath. Inhale up to a tabletop position, curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Right leg is going to come up into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take one big breath, and then we'll step that right foot up to the top right corner of the mat. Find your wide lunge position, bring the back knee down, release your back toes. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches up for a little twist. Step that right hand way out off the right side of your mat. Lift your left hand up, find that side bend, hip comes forward, take one good breath. Beautiful, swim both hands around and down so we come back to the top of our mat. Curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up, turn your right toes out. It's gonna create a little space and we're gonna hop the left foot up to the top left corner of your mat. So step it up with a nice big step, sink your butt down into Malasana, that nice low squat, take one gentle breath, and then right away, pick your butt up, toe heel your feet to about hip width distance apart, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, come up nice and slow and controlled. Roll your shoulders down and back. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Inhale, lift your arms up, one good breath. Beautiful, take it into a twist. Left hand to the right knee, right hand to the hip. Unwind, hands are gonna frame the front foot. Rock back into your half splits. Pull the hips back, peel the toes up. Rock yourself forward, curl the back toes under. Beautiful, plant the palms, step back to plank. Bring the knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale to lower down. Push your way back to child's pose, big toes together, knees together. Reach through the arms. Inhale up to tabletop position, curl the toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Left leg up into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Step your left foot up to the top left corner of the mat. Bring your back knee down, release your back toes. Beautiful, right hand stays down, left hand reaches for a little twist. Nice, and then take that left hand, step it way out. So think hips forward, side bend. Right hand reaches up, we get that side bend, hips come forward, take a nice big breath. Beautiful, and then spin those hands back around so they're the inside of the foot. Curl the back toes under, pick the back knee up, turn your left toes out, create some space. Hop your right foot up to the top right corner of your mat into your Malasana. Sink your butt down. This time we're going to stay here just a little bit longer. So elbows to the inner thighs, prayer hands together, nice tall lifted spine. Notice that little bit of pressure. So if you're using your elbows to drive your knees out just a little bit, can you hold that position? Can you hold your legs just as steady as they are, but release your elbows away from the inner thighs and see if you can maintain that bit of strength there. Take one more moment to see if you can find it. And then relax your hands down to the ground. Lift your butt up, toe heel your feet to about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing. Roll your shoulders around, down and back. We're going to take it into a light balance. So if you like to just step off your mat, take a second to do that. Nothing fancy here. We just want to tune back in. So shift your weight over to your left foot, pick your right knee up, flex your foot, firm up your center, focus your gaze. Take one more breath. Release that foot down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick your left leg up, flex your foot, firm up your center, focus your gaze. Nice. When you're ready, release that foot down, both feet on the ground. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog, but then right away we're taking it into a tabletop position. So pick up your heels, lower your knees, come to your tabletop position, take your right leg, kick it right out from your hip, swing your left toes over to the right. So cow face prep pose, take your left knee, tuck it, or take your right knee, tuck it behind your left knee, knees stacked, toes pointing in opposite direction. Pull your butt back toward your heels, take 3 nice deep breaths here. Cool. When you're ready, inhale, lift up, unwind your legs. Take it to the other side. Left leg swings out nice and long. Swing your right toes to the left side of your mat. Tuck the left knee behind the right. Knees stacked, toes pointing in opposite directions. Pull your butt back to your heels. Stay here. Take 3 nice deep breaths. Nice. When you're ready, lift up, unwind your legs. So finding that tabletop position, take 3 rounds of C-spine. So hugging hip to shoulder, just finding that nice little squeeze in the side body. Right and left makes one side, or one round, I should say. Beautiful. And then as you've completed that round, come up into a high kneel position, hands into the back pockets, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then we're going to think eyes first. So you're going to start by looking upward, let your chin follow, let your heart follow, lifting your gaze as far as it will go, and then let the hips come forward. Take one more breath. Release nice and slow. We're going to curl the toes under. So curl both toes under so that you get a little lift in your heels. We're going to come back to that back bend, but we're going to see if we can find our right hand reach. So right hand's going to reach towards the right heel. If you've caught hold of the heel, now release your left hand, reach your left hand up to the sky. Look up with your eyes. Let your chin follow, let your chest follow. Keep looking towards that top hand. Take one more breath. And then reach through the left hand, let your gaze follow, come up to an upright position, switching sides. So now left hand's going to see if it can find that left heel. Right hand is going to reach up. We're going to lift the gaze. So look towards your hand, let the hips come forward. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift the hand, let your gaze follow, come up nice and slow, bring it back into your tabletop position, release your toes, come back to that C-spine, just hugging in at the side body. Beautiful. One more little hug side to side, and then either crisscross your legs or swing them out to one side, but we're going to send the legs out in front of us into a wide leg position. So legs are going to come out as wide as feels good to you. Start by just finding that wide position and then see if you can maybe step the legs a little bit wider by pulling the pinky toes back, or hands behind the back, and you're going to lift your butt, scooch your butt forward just a little bit so we get a little bit right to the edge of that sensation. And then once you're there, left elbow to the inner thigh, bottom ribs pull forward, top hand reaches up, reaching towards the toes. Does not matter if you can touch the toes. What we're shooting for is that side bend. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Lift up, release, and take it to the other side. Elbow to the inner thigh. Bottom ribs pull forward. Top hand reaches up. Nice, lift up with control, and we're going to take it right down the center line. So walk your hands forward, go to your edge, go as far as feels good to you, finding a stretch in the inner thigh. You might feel a little sensation in the groin. Make sure there's nothing funky going on in the backs of your knees. If anything weird goes on there, bend your knees a little bit. If everything else feels good, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Awesome. When you're ready, slowly and mindfully walk yourself back up and in, grab the backs of the knees, help your legs come together. We're going to come down onto the ground. So lower yourself down with a little bit of control, and then just have your yoga block handy if it's available. Or if you didn't have time to grab your yoga block, maybe just a little throw pillow. It's just going to be a supported bridge when the time comes. So just know that, have it nearby, have it handy. And then we're going to step the soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. So right into reclined butterfly position, hands to the inner thighs, but now we're going to push the inner thighs up into the hands. So hands are just going to create a little resistance. Push your inner thighs up into your hands. Hold that there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, knees together, toes together, inner thighs together. Push the knees in towards each other. Hold that active pushing position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Step your feet so they're about hip width distance apart, hands down on the ground. Exhale into a half bridge. So come to that halfway point and then hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down, right leg across the left into your figure 4. Lift the left leg up, thread your hands through to a loose handhold, and then take your figure 4 and just wobble it a little side to side. One more little wobble side to side, and then see how it feels to draw the legs in a little bit closer to the chest. Soften your shoulders, soften your belly. Take one more breath. We're going to release our handhold, and then we're going to see if we can catch hold of the left foot. So you're going to swing the left foot in so that your right hand can catch hold of the left foot. Once you've caught hold of the left foot, you're going to let the left knee release down as the right leg extends up towards the sky. So left knee is going to drop down towards the ground, right foot up to the sky. And then once you've got that configuration set up, you're going to give your right leg a good gentle shake. So left knee is soft down towards the ground. You might be noticing a stretch in the quadricep muscles of the left side. And then we're going to ignore all that stuff that's going on the left and give the right leg a good gentle shake. Nice. Take one more gentle shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, release your left foot, pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. Release your feet down, and we're going to set our figure 4 up to the other side. So left leg across the right, lift the right leg up, find a gentle handhold, and then rock your figure 4 a little side to side. One more little rock side to side, and then when you're ready, draw the legs in towards your chest to a position that feels comfortable to you. Shoulders should stay soft and heavy, softness in the abdomen so you're breathing comfortably. Take one more breath. Release your handhold, but now we're going to swing that right foot over to the left. So can your left hand catch hold of the right foot? And then we drop the right knee down as we extend the left leg up towards the sky. So rearrange your legs in a way that feels good. You might now feel that stretch through the right quadricep muscles. Once you've got your legs arranged and everything feels good, give your left leg a gentle shake. Nice. Take one more good, gentle shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, release your handhold from your right foot, bend both knees, pull them into your chest, give one light little squeeze, and then release your feet down to the ground. And now we're going to grab our block and take it into a supported bridge. So lifting your hips up, and then you'll decide what height of the block you like. Just based on your proportions, if you're somewhere in the taller range, it might feel good to take it into the medium setting. Or you might choose just that lower setting if it feels just a little bit more secure and there's a little bit more surface area. So place the block underneath your hips, underneath that nice broad structure of your bones. There's a little space between the knees, feet are nice and heavy on the ground, and then we're just going to invite some softness here. So no need to effort. So find the least amount of efforting that you can allow in your body. And then take about 5 nice deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then you're going to notice how it feels. So if you opted for that medium setting on the block, you're just going to tune in to make sure that your block feels stable underneath you and that it feels like a comfortable height. We're going to take it into a little hip flexor stretch. So if it feels good, you're going to pull the right knee into your chest, see if you can catch hold of the knee, and then slide your left leg nice and long. Left foot is going to be flexed. We're going to put a little push through the heel. And then once you feel like you've found a position that works good for you, if it feels right, left hand is going to reach up alongside the ear. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then when you're ready, switch. Pull the left knee in toward your chest, catch hold. Right leg is going to go nice and long. Flex the foot. Once you've got that foot anchored onto the ground, right hand is going to extend up alongside the ear. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then see how it feels to extend both legs nice and long. So extend your left leg to meet the right. Flex the feet, push into the heels, both arms reach up and overhead. So now we're finding a little bit of space through the front of the hips, right? Think about where those front pockets would be. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Slide your feet in so feet are nice and planted on the ground. Push into your hips, lift up, release that block from underneath you. Lower your hips down, soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right, hands to the inner thighs. Push your inner thighs up into your hands. Find that little bit of resistance. Hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that. Pull the knees in towards each other. Toes together, knees together, inner thighs together. Push your knees in towards each other. Hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, step your feet to hip width distance apart, hands alongside the hips. Exhale to a halfway bridge. Hold that halfway bridge for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hips down. Right knee is going to pull into the chest. Left leg goes nice and long right into supine twist. Take that right knee over and across the body. Now here's a great place that if you like, you can always use your block. Bringing the knee across, you can rest your knee on your block, which might allow you to drop your right shoulder down a little bit further. So always play around with your props. If you find a place that feels really nice to you, it might look totally different on everybody else's body. So find your supine twist, take one more breath. Cool, and then when you're ready, pull the right knee into your chest, left knee comes in to meet. If you opted to use your block, you might choose to pass it over to the other side and then hold on to your left knee, let your right leg go long. Supine twist to the other side. Bring that knee over and across the body. If you like, land it on that block. Turn your head to the left. Notice your breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, release. Come back to center. Pull the left knee into your chest. Bring the right knee into meet. Give everything one last little hug, little squeeze. And then maybe if it feels good, just take your knees, draw them in circles, go in one direction. Take your knees, draw them in circles, go the other way. And then start to ask your body where would be your best Shavasana. If it's a little chilly in the space that you're working in, you might choose to put a blanket on or your socks or your sweater. Otherwise, just start to position your body in a way that feels comfortable. So you might choose constructive rest, can be super supportive to the low back. You might choose to take that more traditional shape, maybe roll to one side, flip over onto your belly, any other position of the body that feels good. And then, of course, you always have the option for legs up the wall, which you can do freestanding, or if you like to scoot your butt up against the wall, can also be a really nice place to finish. So take your time, find the best position of your body, and then see if you can just start to invite a sense of softness in. Start by just softening the fingers and the toes. Soften your arms and your legs. See if you can release any tension that you might be holding in the front of your hips. Let your glutes be soft and heavy. And then see if you can bring a sense of awareness to your abdomen or your belly. And then see if you can just kind of let go there. So if you're holding your belly in, or you just like to maintain that little sense of posture, as long as you're not supporting the low back. If you're supporting the low back and it feels better to keep a slight bit of tension, cool. But if it feels okay to do so, relax the abdominal muscles so it's nice and soft and loose. And then see if you can just let the chest and the front of the body follow. So soften the belly, soften the ribs, soften your chest. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Invite some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes. Notice the gentle movement of breath in your body. If your legs are out in an extended position, or if your legs are in reclined cobbler's pose, if the knees are out to the left and to the right, start to walk your feet in so that there's a bent knee position. So we just want to be able to anchor our feet into the ground. And then once you feel like you've got your legs in a bent knee position, super light windshield wipers, just a little bit of a rock of the knees side to side, just to kind of tune in. Notice your backs of your hips connected to the ground. Notice your low back. And then get a sense of where those little protruding hip bones are. Let your knees come to stillness, making light little fists. We're going to take a couple of wraps or little taps to the hip points. So gently tapping or wrapping. Take a couple of more wraps there. And then one fist is going to stack on top of the solar plexus, and the other hand is going to open and rest gently on top of that hand. Allow your hand to get just a little soft and heavy into the solar plexus. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more cycles of breath. Cool. And then release your hands alongside the body. Left knee is going to stay bent, or I should say, if you're going to roll to the right, left leg is going to stay bent. If you're going to roll to the left, right leg is going to stay bent. So whichever side you're rolling to, extend that leg long, push into the bent knee, lift the hips up. So we want to feel like that little halfway bridge. The hip is going to lift, and then roll yourself onto one side. Pull yourself up nice and slow and controlled. Find your way up into a seated position that works good for you. Sukhasana, if that's a nice way to go, but any other seat that just allows you to sit up nice and tall. And then once you've found your way there, we're just going to finish just with those lymph nodes underneath the armpits. So fingertips are going to flip to the inside. Get that little handhold, so hands right between the armpits, and then just take a couple little pumps of your elbows up and down. You'll feel a little bit of a compression on your wrists, so only go as far as feels safe to your wrists. Nice. One more little squeeze up and down. And then as your elbows lift, release your hands, stack your hands right on top of your heart. Close your eyes down or soften your gaze. Just for a moment, tune in, notice that gentle movement of breath underneath your hands. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Breathe in a little extra love and gratitude for your friends, for your family, for your pets. And then breathe in a little extra love and gratitude for the ones that it's hardest to find that love and gratitude for. When you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, happy Tuesday.